Yo, this is Juju G with Fr39daguyz podcast. All of you in Fr39daguyz. This episode, I got a very special guest, a legend, whatever you want to call it, like someone solid, like 10 toes, all that shit. Like, can you introduce yourself?
Yes, the one and only Loca D.
And it's crazy, cause I seen when she first got out. And the moment I seen it, I'm like, man, I gotta have her on my podcast and shit. Like, but it's crazy to think about it because I seen the gangland, on the Maniacs in the joint, and that shit like kind of moved me. But I'm thinking like, when I was in the street, one of the folks, he tried to put me up on game and shit. Folks, we in the street, it's real life war. Like, people dying. Like, it's that. So, folks just got shot in the back with a K, and he trying to have me chill inside, but it's war outside. So, like, yeah, you got put on the bench for a little bit, but I got to help the guys outside and shit. I'm saying, so even though folks, my dog Free Burns G, folks are trying to have me. He like, gee, they in Chicago, the gangland, the Maniacs. Ooh, I'm saying, like, and he's telling me about it. But to actually like go from that to her sitting right here, like, that's just crazy. But it's crazy because we going off what the people are telling us. I want to know, like, because we only going off what everybody knows from that point forward. Like, what led you up to that point? What led you up to, like, that point happening?
Actually, growing up in the streets of Chicago, I was raised by a stepfather who was a drug lord and was over the Latin Kings.
Yeah. And you stated in one of your interviews, like, Lord Gino called, like, for someone like me, for someone in the position of power in prison, to know that he called your stepdad, that's power. That's power in abundance. So I just like, that shocked me.
Actually, I was supposed to be Lord Gino's goddaughter.
Mm.
He was supposed to be the one to baptize me. So that's how close my family was with the Latin Kings.
Yeah.
But growing up, I was actually being raised, I was being trained to be a female hit woman for the Latin Kings. Being a maniac was never in the picture.
Yeah.
When I was being trained, my stepfather, his gang members, the Latin Kings, they used to force me sexually, mentally, physically. It was just so much abuse surrounded. But they were making me angry, and I see that now.
Yeah.
They were making me a hatred person. They wanted me to hate everybody so that I can be a female hit woman for the Latin Kings. But I end up turning around and joining the Maniac Latin Disciples, and everything that the Latin Kings had taught me, I used against them.
Yeah. So the day, what you did to get you locked up, to get you 31 years, you served 31 years in prison. What forced you to do that? What made you think, like, actually go out and act to do whatever you did to get 31 years? Like, what happened?
My best friend, Israel Torres, the Muda, rest in peace, was murdered, cold-blooded, in my car.
And how did you meet him? Like,
he's from the neighborhood. The Maniacs used to take turns taking him to school because he didn't like driving the yellow school bus. He was embarrassed. So I would take turns, and he was my age, but the Maniacs didn't even know I was that age. The Maniacs never knew that I was that young. I had my own apartment, my car, so nobody knew my age. But he did.
Yeah.
He did. And we had a lot in common, and he was my best friend. He knew my deepest secrets. And it was my turn to take him to school, and he ended up dying in my car.
And one of the main reasons I want to do this interview, one of the main reasons when I saw you, like, I pursued this, like, with all my heart, is because, like, I see a lot of myself in you. Like, not everybody in the neighborhood, not everybody in the gang, when some shit shake off, not everybody going to respond. Not everybody going to answer that call. Not everybody going to stay solid. Like, not everybody, when some shit drastic happen, not everybody willing to kill. And when I heard everything about you, and then because it's one thing to see the gangland, so when I seen you on another interview, Vlad TV, like, I'm like, I see a lot of myself in you. And my friend out there, his dad used to tell him, like, show me who your friends are and I'll tell you who you are.
My mother used to tell me the same thing.
So you are who you attract who you are, and it's just natural. And in a joint, it could be different gangs and different organizations. Like, I could be cool with this other gang member, like, but he's solid. I'm not going to chill with they flunky, because you are who you attract. So when I'm seeing you, when I'm listening to you, you should be able to, people you chill around, you should be able to see yourself as a reflection. They're a reflection of you. The oldest saying, birds of a feather flock together. So I'm hearing what you're saying and hearing what you're going through. So I'm seeing a lot of myself. So, and we're not here to disrespect the dead. I don't disrespect the dead or none of that. But what happened on the day that you actually acted out what you did?
Well, before I begin to do that, I just want to say, with all due respect to the victims' families,
Rest in peace.
May Jimmy Cruz and Hector Reyes rest in peace. I mean, no disrespect. I do have to go backwards in order to go forward.
Exactly.
After my best friend was shot and murdered in my car, the guys who were arrested and bonded out for their murder, I went to Beach and Spalding. Actually, the police, the Cook County Sheriff's paged me to tell me that they were being bonded out.
Yeah.
So I went looking for them. I went to Beach and Spalding. I went with 2 other co-defendants, and I was on the passenger side, and I went looking for them. And it so happened, it was crazy, because if anybody knows anything about Latin King territory, the Beach and Spalding is the heart of Latin Kings.
Headquarters.
It's the headquarters, and there's always somebody out. When I went, there wasn't a soul out. It was empty. And a car drove up next to me, and it was the 2 guys.
Mm. And when you're going through that grief, when you seen someone that you love dead on the street, there's nothing you could do about it. The only thing you could think, some people flee from death, some people respond to death. So what was on my mind was, I got to get back. And I said on my last episode, my mom's not going to be the only one burying a son. And I stood on that. I didn't promise no one but myself. My mom's not going to be the only person burying her son. And you made a promise to her, Mutha's mom.
I did. I promised her, as she sat on his brains in the front seat of my car. And I promised her, I said, I'm going to get them. I promise you, within my last breath, the person who did that is going to pay for it. And they did.
Mm. So as you see them in the car, what happened after that?
Well, actually, one of the guys in the passenger, which was Hector Reyes, he kept saying, "Oh, that's Loca D. That's Loca D." And I was so young. I was 15 years old, and I was so young. And I kept saying, "Yeah, y'all heard the rumor. Now meet the legend, Loca D in the flesh. Yeah, that'd be me. Y'all, like Prince Fernie said, beware, because Loca D will always be there." And Jimmy Cruz was the driver. Now, mind you, not even, I think it was 2 days prior from the murder case, I was just eating at his mom's house for Mother's Day. And to see him, and he was just like, I was like, look, I don't want no trouble. The Latin Kings were aware from Lord Gino, nobody was supposed to touch me. Yeah. If I was with a family member. If I came by myself, then everything's up to good. You know what I'm saying? So that night I was by myself. I wasn't with a family member. So, but Jimmy saw Toothy in the back seat, Madeline Mendoza, and he started flirting with her. So he invited us to the park. A lot of people, news people saying that we lured them into the park. No.
Yeah, it was the other way around.
It was the other way around. They invited us to the park. We followed them to the park. And when we got there, Jimmy was talking with Toothy. He was trying to fuck Toothy. And Hector kept saying, you bad? You think you bad? Follow me to the motherfucking bathroom, bitch. You ain't all that. I'm like, bro, you just don't know.
Talking shit.
Talking a whole bunch of shit out there. And I kept looking at him like, bro, you just don't know who the fuck you talking to.
Yeah. What's on my mind?
Yeah. So then he gonna turn around and tell Jimmy, man, don't forget the pencil. And I tapped on my gun. I was like, cause I forgot my pencil.
Yeah. So
when I tapped on my gun, he looked. And I followed him to the bathroom. We went into the woman's bathroom. But the whole scenario changed once we got in there. It wasn't no more talking shit, calling me bitches and telling me I ain't shit and I ain't nobody scared of me. When we got in there, he wanted pussy.
Yeah.
Pulled out a whole dick, everything. Oh, you scared of some dick? And he wanted the fuck.
Yeah.
So I'm like, bro, what's all this shit you was talking out there? He wasn't trying to hear none of that. He wanted some pussy.
Yeah.
So when he realized I wasn't giving up no pussy, that's when he was like, what you mad because I killed your boy? When he said that was over.
Yeah. It's over. It was over to begin with.
It was really over to begin with.
But now you done.
But now he just made it, you know what I'm saying? He just made it
Quicker.
Way quicker. So when as soon as he said that, I guess he halfway turned and I had to blow his brains out. He died with his dick in his hand. So then Jimmy outside, he must have thought in his head, now I'm assuming this, but I'm really believing it. He must have thought in his head that I was the one that was shot in there. Because they heard the gunshot. You know what I'm saying? So when I came out the bathroom, his eyes had got so big.
Yeah, he knew what was up.
He knew right then and there his boy was dead.
Yeah.
So he reached for his gun, and my co-defendant, Madeline Mendoza, was standing next to him. So I knew he was going to kill her. I knew it.
Yeah.
So my other co-defendant, Marilyn Malero, which is Muñeca, she was between the bathroom and she was between the sidewalk. So this the bathroom, this the sidewalk, and Muñeca was right there. So I'm telling her, like, bro, I gave you a gun. Shoot that nigga.
Yeah.
Like, you're closer to him than me.
Pop him.
She froze. So when she froze, I took off running. And as I was running, I popped. And when I popped one time, it went straight in his head. And all I could think about was, bro, that's what y'all taught me.
Yeah.
Y'all taught me this. Because what kind of child would know to aim like that?
Yeah.
And it goes straight into their head and kill them instantly.
I ain't got to shoot a bunch of times or nothing.
One bullet.
So after all that, like you stated in previous interviews, like I didn't think nothing because this was normal. And it is normal. Like, so once you see that repeatedly, like, but this is what I set out to do. So once you do it, it's like, okay, like I got the job. It's not no thinking about it or regret or anything like that. This is what I came to do.
I'm not going to sit here and lie to you. Growing up at the time of the murders, I was 15 years old. 2 weeks before my 16th birthday, I did not give a fuck.
Yeah.
It was no type of remorse. I did what I said I was going to do. I accomplished what the fuck I said I was going to accomplish. I went to the funeral the next day of the Mudo.
Yeah.
I walked into the funeral with a whole bunch of the maniacs. We was tailed up, suited up, waiting, because we just knew Latin Kings were going to come shoot the funeral, but they never did. And I went and walked up to his mother. I put a rose on his casket, gave him a kiss, and let him know that I did it. And I turned around, and I looked at his mother, and I gave her a dozen of roses, and I told her, I did it. And she cried.
Do you think she felt better about it, or how do you think she felt?
Well, I found out.
Or what she tell you?
When I gave her the flowers and I told her I did it, she was like, "Thank you."
Yeah.
You know, and she hugged me and she cried and she kissed me, and I just told her I was sorry. You know what I'm saying? I told her I wish because I felt bad. At the end of the day, I felt like the Mudo took my bullet. That was supposed to be my bullet.
It's your car.
It was my car. He was sitting in my driver's seat. That was supposed to have been my head blown out, not him. So
it's that survivor's guilt.
Yeah. Like, it shouldn't have been me.
Yeah.
It shouldn't have been him who died. It should have been me. You know what I'm saying? So when I told her that, she was happy at the time. But I found out years later that she was fighting cancer at the same time my mother was fighting cancer. And her and my mother were doing chemotherapy together. And this happened like maybe 15 years, 14 years after I committed my murders. And she kept telling my mother, like, you look so familiar. And my mother was like, she was like, I used to live over in Humble Park. She was like, yeah, my daughter used to be a man. When they got talking, she was like, oh my God, Jacqueline Montague is your daughter. And she was like, yeah. She was like, and my mom was like, yeah, why? She was like, Israel Torius was my son.
Damn.
And my mother just started crying, like, that was her best friend. That's why she did this.
Yeah.
And his mother told my mom, no, she did it because of me. She told me she was going to do it. And she was like, and I have to live with that for the rest of my life.
So then she was thankful then, but then she thought about it like.
Of course. She not only lost her son, she lost her son's best friend.
Yeah.
Like 4 lives were lost that night. You know what I'm saying? Actually more. 4, 5, 6 lives were lost that night.
And that's one thing, like, so the next day y'all go to the funeral or whatever, and afterwards, you know, what they call up there, or 12 police, they swoop upon you. What happened?
They actually swooped up on us after the funeral.
Yeah.
I don't know why we didn't think that they were following us, because on the drive to the funeral, we're passing Armitage in California, which is Latin King's neighborhood, and we're shooting at them.
Yeah.
And that also is the 14th District Police Station. And so police came, nobody followed us, nobody tried to stop us from shooting and shit. So when we got to the funeral, I had ordered everybody to come, one person, every other person to be with a gun. Because I really believed that the Latin Kings were going to come shoot up the funeral. But they didn't. And that was surprising too.
Yeah.
So then on the way back to the neighborhood, when everybody got back to the neighborhood, I had promised my stepfather, I was like, I'm going to go to Puerto Rico. Because the Latin Kings had called them.
Yeah.
They called them and told them, when I actually did it, a car pulled up after I shot and killed them. But they didn't know nothing about the guy in the bathroom. They just knew about the guy on the sidewalk.
The one who was on the street.
Yes. So he had called my stepfather and told my stepfather, your daughter just killed one of our boys. And my stepfather was like, look, I'll give you whatever you want. Just don't go get none of the guys. Don't call the police. Just let her go. So he had promised this guy a kilo of cocaine.
So he went against what he's supposed to stand for as a Latin King.
Yes.
For
some cocaine.
For cocaine. Okay.
Yes.
So when they pulled up on you, like, what did you think? Did you know, like, they coming for me?
Actually, Muñeca was in the corner. I was giving away my guns and was like, I'm going to Puerto Rico. You know what I'm saying? I got to leave. I got to lay low. So, but Muñeca, I was shaking up with everybody. I remember shaking up with everybody. And I remember Muñeca waving at me like, damn, folks, you ain't finna say bye to me. So I was like, nah, folks, I'm going to come say bye. So I had walked up to her. And the minute we went to shake up, the police had came through. And I'm like, what the fuck? Like, bitch, you set me up? You know what I'm saying? The first thing came to my mind, like, oh, you set me up? And she was like, no. She was like, don't worry. I think it's about, we had jumped on some pregnant Latin queens.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, okay, that ain't shit. I could take a little fall for that. Even though I didn't do it. Y'all didn't give a fuck. You know what I'm saying? So, but when the police came so broom rushed, the first thing that came out of my mouth was, I'm 15 years old. I'm a juvenile. Don't touch me.
Yeah.
And the whole neighborhood got quiet.
Ain't no way.
The whole fucking
they
neighborhood.
Probably think, ain't no way.
Man, they was looking at me like.
It's a girl.
And they kept looking around. And my cousin had to step out the crowd and was like, she 15 years old. Don't touch her. And I was like, my birthday, May 29, 1976. I'm 15. So they didn't even handcuff me. They handcuffed Muñeca.
Yeah.
And they put us in the car. Now, the whole time, Muñeca's telling me, like, girl, there's nothing. It's about that motherfucking, we jumped on some Latin queens. It wasn't nothing. So I was like, oh, okay, cool. I could sit it out.
Yeah.
So when I hear the radio, the police is asking the people on the radio, is this them? I'm like, who the fuck? Somebody's pointing us out. You know, so you know when them little kids be on the bike, riding the bike around the neighborhood, want to be folks and shit. So
peeping out the scene.
Yeah, peeping out the scene. So I'm steady yelling out the window like, bro, somebody pointing us out. Somebody pointing us out. So the little boy took his bike and was riding around and found the marked car. And it was Yvette Rodriguez, who was fucking with my prince. My prince had life in prison. He's still in prison. And his girlfriend, Yvette Rodriguez, got caught with a kilo of cocaine by the same police that had just recently arrested her. And she made a deal with them. And was like, you let me go and I'll tell you who killed the guys in the park. So she pointed us out. Only way they knew is because my other two co-defendants were bragging to her.
What happened?
About what happened. So when they came, it was like, oh, Yvette's telling. Me and my co-defendant Manlero were the only ones that got arrested because Mendoza was able to get away because she wasn't able to identify her or point her out. So they took us to the scene of the crime. That's when I realized it wasn't about no battle.
Yeah, it ain't
got nothing to do with it. Right, because the detective turned around and asked me, which one of you bitches want to come shoot me in the back of the head while I'm trying to take a piss? I was like, bitch, I didn't play that bitch word back then. Bitch, give it to me, I'll do it. You know what I'm saying? And I want handcuffed. And then they took me to Beach, and they took both of us to Beach and Spalding.
Headquarters, Latin Kings.
The headquarters of Latin Kings, beat the horn, and the whole car was surrounded. There was a gun.
And it ain't like how it is now. You go to a block that someone claims is dead. It's 50, 100 of that gang out there.
Yeah, for sure. And they turned around and they beat the horn, and they was telling me like, they was saying, yeah, that's that bitch that killed them. That's the bitch. I was like, what? Who the fuck are you, bitch? Like, I'm still, now the kid in me came out. You know what I'm saying? So the police was like, if y'all sign the statements and say that y'all killed them, we won't let you out right here. But if you don't, we're gonna let you out right here.
They gonna kill you.
They gonna kill me. So
they gonna let them kill you.
Yeah. So we was like, okay, we'll sign a statement, and so we did.
So it's either you go down for this shit
or die for it.
Or die for it.
Yeah.
Either way, like your life is took right now.
Exactly.
And then you stated like when this shit happened, you knew something was going to happen. You knew there was going to be some shit behind this, but you didn't think that's what it was. You didn't think it was going to be trial, prison.
Actually, let me keep it real with you. I never even thought that I would live to see 16. The funeral arrangement, I had my funeral arrangements already paid for.
15.
At 15 years old, I had my funeral arrangements paid for. Couldn't nobody tell me nothing. But when
you were on borrowed time in your mind.
In my mind, I knew I won't go see past 16.
Yeah.
So when the Mudo passed away, I gave my funeral arrangements to his mom. And I told her, I was like, you might have to change it up because mine has me being in the casket buried with my forks up. You know what I'm saying? So you might have to change shit up. You know what I'm saying? But I gave her my funeral arrangements. But I just didn't think
to have when you have your mind set on one thing and then something totally opposite happens. It's a culture shock. It takes you for a surprise. So now, because I know what it is to go to trial, I know what it is to fight the system. I know what it is for cops to be lying on you, because they get on the stand and give these fake testimonies. So, what was that like? Thinking you were going to die, like you cool with that, but now this other shit happened. And you don't got no control over it. That's when you're in that system, you have no control over it. You got to pay a lawyer or a PD, and they got to do the best they could do to fight for your life.
True.
So how was that?
Actually, I had got so used to being in prison with life that had became my home. Yeah. I had got friends there, cousins, brothers, sisters, prison mothers, prison wives. You know what I'm saying? I have met so many people, and a lot of them were positive and real as fuck. You know what I'm saying? You meet some real motherfuckers behind the bars. But I got institutionalized. That was my home. So when the law, after my mom passed away in 2008, I honestly believe my mom passed away so that she can go to heaven and beg for my release. Because a year after my mom was released,
she'll be the one fighting for you.
Yes. A year after my mom had passed away, Northwestern Law School came into my life. And they fought and fought and fought for my freedom. So
when you got sentenced, what they sentenced you to?
My original sentence was 2 life sentences. Then my re-sentence was 63 years at 50%. I have to do 31 and a half.
So when you got sentenced, did you accept it? Did you go into the joint thinking like, oh yeah, this is it. This is my life. Did you accept it, or did you know in your mind, or did you think like, I'm going to come from underneath this?
No, I accepted my prison
so you accepted like, I'm going to die here.
And I was okay with dying
there.
A lot of people still don't understand to this day, prison was my home.
Yeah.
You know how somebody can get locked up and go to prison and be like, oh, I wish I was home. I miss my kids. I miss my mom. Well, that's how I'm feeling in society. Oh, I miss prison. I miss my friends. I miss
the routine of it.
Yeah, the security of it.
The simplicity of like
you know what you're gonna do today.
Yeah, you know it's the same.
It's the same shit every day. I know what I'm gonna eat today. I know what I'm gonna do today. I know what time I'm going to bed. I know what time I'm taking a shit.
Yeah.
I know it all. So I got used to that shit. So I'm sitting out here while they're sitting in there saying, "Oh, I wish I was home. I miss being home." My kids.
Cool.
I'm out here saying, "I wish I was in there with them." Because because
life hits you.
Yeah, I'm still trying to adjust to society.
And what's the biggest thing that fucks with you right now of being free? What's the biggest thing that you is like you trying to wrap your head around it but can't right now?
Not being able to bring my friends home. Not being able to go in and visit them. Not being able to go there and speak for them.
You told me that you experienced this and experienced that. When I experienced this or that, I went to Miami. I went here. I went there. I'm in a condo downtown Skyrise. like sometimes I be like, damn, folks still locked up. Folks got life, or folks got this, or folks got that. Or King or Stone or Lord got this, and these is people I grew up with in the joint.
Right, exactly.
And I spent my whole life fighting against every other gang. But when you in prison, you forced to coexist with everybody.
Yes, you are.
And laws and politics, and I ain't going to get into laws and policies like that, but you can't bring nothing from the street to the joint because these people are already living in the joint.
Yeah.
You the youngster, you the young Thundercat.
Yeah.
So how was it like when your first day in prison, like when you first hit population, what was it like?
Oh, hell no. The very first day that I hit population, I got cleared from intake. I was walking to the rec yard. I'll never forget. I could just close my eyes and picture it. I'm walking into the rec yard, and I'm being surrounded by a whole bunch of bitches. And I can hear the older lady saying, "Who the fuck are you? Who you fuck you think you are? You killed my nephew, bitch. You finna die." Ooh. And I'm like, whoa. Like, I'm not going to disrespect her because my mother always taught me never disrespect your elders. So I'm like, I'm not going to disrespect this lady, but okay, oh wait. So then the girl that was next to her was like, "Bitch, you." I said, "No, you're not no old bitch." I went in on her ass. Her name was Senna. I went in on her ass. I was 15 years old. I was like, "Bitch, you ain't going to do me like that." So
the older lady, you got
she
that
spit
pass
on me and everything.
You got that pass, like
yeah, the older lady spit on me and everything.
That was her nephew, right?
Yeah.
So when the younger one got to talking crazy, you like, oh no, it's up. Like
I wasn't playing with her. And she wasn't no younger one. You know what I'm saying? She's older than me. Yeah. But bitch, you're not gonna disrespect me. I don't give a fuck who you are. Yeah. Now the old lady was old enough to be my grandmother. Yeah. I wasn't gonna nothing happen. I wasn't gonna do nothing to disrespect that lady.
Out of respect.
Yeah. Plus I just killed her nephew.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But the other one, Senna, she was like, "Queens, I want going. Bitch, let's get it." So everybody had came, all the GDs and them, everybody that came was like, no, let it go. It's cool. So they had let us go. But what gave me the biggest scare was I was walking past some people and they was fighting. But I didn't think none of it. And she stabbed the girl so bad, her blood squirted all over me. And I thought I had been cut. And I was like, what the fuck?
It's all over.
Somebody just and it was somebody else's blood. I was like, oh, hell no. But yeah.
And it's just like something gets you through the joint. Like you got that spark, that hope, that because it's easy to say fuck and just wild out.
Right.
It's easy to be like, you know what, I'm just spaz all day, every day. But there's something to give you that hope that gets you through the joint, that keeps you calm in the joint. There's that one thing, no matter what, if it's your routine, if it's your support, what got you through the joint? Like when you first got down, what was that hope for you?
When I first got down, what got me through was just me.
Yeah.
Getting to learn everything, getting to do everything. But what kept me going was God.
Yeah.
Because at first I was like, yeah, this is my home. I gotta make an example out of it. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. But at the end of the day, I'm holding hands with a motherfucking Latin queen.
Yeah.
Prison is about to close down. We're about to go to another prison. I'm about to get shipped to Florida. And I'm just crying. I'm like, everything's going to be okay. And they was like, well, I kept giving away all my shit. People thought I was never going home. You know what I'm saying? I kept giving my shit. But I survived because of God. I did. If it wasn't for that man up above, I wouldn't be able to be sitting right here anyway.
You had that hope. Like, when I first got to the joint, like, because I had a hung jury. Half the jury thought I was guilty for manslaughter. Half the jury thought it was a reckless homicide.
Oh, okay.
So I had that hope. So I hit them on one of the IGs for my city. So I go down there, and I'm like, yeah, G. I'm like, I'm gonna get the pill. I'm gonna get the modification. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do that. We on the yard. And him being solid, him already being a figure of, multiple stabbings, assault on COs, exit charges, all that. He just know how to be solid.
Right.
So he like, hey G, like I'm gonna tell you like this. I'm like, what's up? He like, get all that shit out your head. You got time. Do that time. Because then you're going to be thinking like, oh, I'm going home this year. I'm going home that year. Get comfortable. He pointed to everybody in front of me. He said, you see all them? They got time. You got a bit. There's a difference. You in here. You're going to see people grow up. You're going to see people die. They going home soon.
Yeah.
Because, you know, a lot of people that level up from lower prisons come to the maximums. So there was a group of, you know, lower levels, but they leveled up to a maximum.
Right.
So he tells me, so when someone laces you up like that, you can either reject it or you could
accept it.
Yeah, you can accept it wholeheartedly. And I accepted it. I accepted, you know what? My family, my friends, everybody, I love them. But that they're out there. I'm in here.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's how I dealt. And my bit was smooth. My bit, not saying riots and all that. I was cool with all that because this is what I knew already. I already knew war. I already knew death. I already knew violence. So this shit was nothing to me as far as, but the mental part, when he told me that, I had to accept it. I had to accept not going home for a long time. And I was cool. Once I accepted that, this is the crib. This is the crib. And someone's like, when I'm going back to the cell, I'm like, man, we at the rec building. I'm like, man, I'm about to go to the crib.
Yep.
They like, man, G, you tripping. This ain't your crib. This where they send mail to.
Yep.
This where my mail go to. This where like, you could locate me. This ain't your crib. Because you get to go home next year. This my crib. And when I accepted that, I'm like, you know, but towards the end, and I really feel like the amount of time I did, if I would have got out 10 years, 9 years, 8 years, I wouldn't have been no different. Because I would have got out 20-something. I wasn't young. I would have got out 20-something, 27, 28, 10 years. And I would have got out full of myself. I would have got out. So God make everything happen in his own time.
Yes, he does.
He made me long enough to be sick of this shit, but then not that long where I still got some of my youth. He gave me an opportunity to shine out in the street, and
Jesus. Yes.
So I didn't get out on revenge or he's still living, I need to get him or this and that because it's easy. I could easily think of like he needs to go. He needs to go like, and like I told you, like when you made a promise to
my best friend's brother. Yeah.
I made a promise to myself. But I had a list. All these people gotta go. And when I was in prison, you know, for years and years, I'm like, okay, there's still a couple people out there. There's still a couple people out there. And bro's gone. And I like I told you on the ride here, after all my retaliations, after everything I did, after the blood I shed, after all that, like I would
bring him back.
I would think, but he's still gone.
Yeah,
he's still gone. He ain't nothing to bring my brother back. All the shit I do, my brother's still gone. I got 10 siblings, only one brother, same mom, same dad. A lot of people say their mom is everything, or their dad, or this the closest I know to is a everything. So to take my everything away, everybody got to pay.
Yeah.
Everybody got to pay. So God left me in there long enough where I'm like, I can let that shit go. I can let that shit go. You know, people lost their lives, or long enough where I could be mature enough to be like, I can respect the dead. I ain't going to tarnish nobody's name. I ain't going to. And I rode past the scene of the crime, what I did, and I could see everything vividly. So like if you were to go past there, could you see everything? Like I could see everything I ever did, like that was of that magnitude. I could see it vividly.
Well, I actually did go to the scene of the crime. I have been there, and I remembered every second of what I did.
You could see it with my eyes open.
I could see it. It was like a play. You know what I'm saying? It was like a play, and I saw everything. I was watching myself commit this murder. I was watching them boys fall to the ground again. So yes, you can. It flashes in your eyes. It's something that you can't just rub out your eyes and it'll go away. It's gonna be there.
And everybody who like did this or did that, it affects everybody differently. So like some people wake up with cold sweats, and some people would like. But me personally, is like people would haunt me. Like I would be asleep. I'd have literally been in the cell. Literally, like someone had told me a story where he killed somebody, and he woke up and he's laying in his bed. And he said, dude looked at him, got up, went out the room, slammed the door. The picture from his wall fell, broke the mirror, broke the glass in the picture. He kept it to this day.
Damn.
So he's like, so me personally, like they would haunt me when I go to sleep, when I'm most vulnerable. And I done had in my dream they grab me, and I wake up. And my shirt's wrinkled.
Shrinkled up, yeah.
Like they grab me, pull me, and I wake up to getting yanked.
Right.
And I look at my shirt, and my shirt
is wrinkled up.
So, but God left me in there long. That I used to have so much hate. I used to have so much, because everybody got to get it. Everybody, like Mudo went.
Gotta pay.
Yeah, Mudo went. So it wouldn't be right if someone walks and Mudo's gone. It wouldn't be so right if Javier's gone. They got to be gone too. So, and I done been in it long enough where I could let that go, where all that weight is lifted off of me.
I have it.
No?
I have it. I still live with it every day, every second, I can't let go of what I did. Anytime I close my eyes, I can see me doing it. Every time I go to sleep, I tell them, like, I ask for forgiveness every day now.
Yeah.
A lot of people be like, oh, she want to be remorseful now because she in prison. I'm out of prison, been out of prison for 2 years, and I'm still remorseful. You know what I'm saying? I still tell God, and I don't care. I let everybody know. I'm fucked up, bro.
Yeah.
Like, I wish it was me instead of them.
Like me personally, like even though like that shit lifted, and it wasn't like one day or like years, it just, that shit affected me so bad where I had to pray to get this off of me. Because I physically felt it wasn't just a mental thing. I physically felt this weight on me that I was carrying. So one day, just out of nowhere, I noticed, like, I don't feel like this no more. And there have been situations where I've been in the street and react how I used to react, like someone put my name, accused me of a crime, and my first reaction, I'm out on federal house arrest. And I done called bro out there, hey bro, check it out. He's like, what's up? Slide. He slid. I slid on old girl. A chick. Bitches gossip.
Yeah, they do.
And I put up on her like, hey, check this out. I'm like, what you telling everybody, what you accused me of? I'm like, if I was the old me, you wouldn't have even seen me.
That's right.
You wouldn't have even seen. I said, if you put, and it's that instant reaction. You don't think about it. You react. And I try not to be him no more, but sometimes we just react. Sometimes we react, even though we pray to God. And I done pulled up on her like, if this shit happen again, you will not see me next time. And this is off of anger. This is off of, but for the most part, I do work on myself. I do pray. I do try not to be the person I was.
Right.
But I wanted to ask you, like, after all this you've been through all this shit, 31 years of remorse, 31 years of pain, 31 years of guilt. You got all this on your shoulders, a heavy burden on your shoulders. Like, how many times do you think of Mudo?
All the time.
Yeah.
It don't matter. I'm thinking of him now. I think of him all the time. He was my very best friend.
Like, do you think, like, what kind of father he would have been? What his kids would have like?
He would have been his father. He would have been the most amazing father. His son would have been so happy to have him, bro. Real talk.
I remember my brother every single day, because when my brother got killed, they thought it was me they killed. So they're going around, when someone dies, the opposite side, the word travels faster.
Yeah.
Oh, we killed Juju, we killed Juju, we killed Juju. So they thinking that it's me. So I had to call my mom I had to call my mom and be like, and my mom, the person who I was forced to be in the street, she doesn't like it.
Right.
So she can't accept but this is who I'm forced to be. It's either I let people roll over on me or I do the rolling.
That's right.
So her thinking that it's only one way, I'm thinking it's two ways.
Two ways.
It's either this or it's that.
Yeah.
And I'd rather it be y'all than me.
Yeah.
So I think about my brother every day. Every day I got him on my forearm. So I see him at work. I see him when I take a shower. I see his name. And like me personally, after everything I did, after retaliation, after all this shit, after causing other people harm, other moms' funerals, I don't feel no better because I'd rather have him here than have these accolades under my belt.
Yeah, me too.
I'd rather have him here and to see, because I was skinny, 150 pounds. I'm 210, muscle cut, slim build, but I would want him to see how I look now. And he don't got that chance.
Yes, he does. He's watching you.
Yeah.
He sees you. Because that's why I tell myself all the time, I want Israel to know the woman that I became.
Yeah.
But he's watching me. He is with me at all times. He's been with me through the beginning.
Yeah.
So that gives me comfort knowing that even my mom, my brothers, my sister, my grandparents, everybody who passed away, and they wasn't there from when I came home. They was really there. They were there. And they were rejoicing.
Yeah.
So he sees you.
And it's crazy because this episode, I think everything happens for a reason, because this is episode 10 of my podcast. I got out of prison. I started my podcast. This is episode 10. And what do people refer to as 10s? Oh man, she bad. She a 10, or he cold. He a 10 or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Or the highest, he cold. He a 10. He know how to do this or he know how to do that. He a 10. So for this to be the 10th episode, you my 10. You my 10 on my episode.
I
so
appreciate
so
that.
you the highest of the high.
That.
You my A+, you my 100%.
I appreciate that.
So, but I wanted to say, like, everything you're going through, like, I always been locked up with someone who been locked up way more than me. So I never felt like my time was a lot. I can't complain about my time when someone else got it worse everywhere. So, like I said on the previous episode, a man complains about the shoes he wearing until he sees a man with no feet. So, like, I could talk about this 14 years. You sitting here with 31.
Yeah.
When Northwestern Law contacted you, you said in 2008, 2009, I was getting locked up. How long were you down?
I was already down 16 years.
16 years. I'm fresh on my bit. I'm fighting the case. I got to go try. I got to do all that. So, with that saying, I'm saying this. I don't yell free to guys to say, hey, let's get out of prison. Yeah, that's my goal. That's my goal, to get people out of prison. That's my goal, to change how people think. But free is a state of mind. Right. Free ain't just physical. Because there's those people with life. I keep saying that those people with life that's content with it. Like, you know what? This is where I'm at. I'm accepted. This is my home. This is my home. So people out here are trapped into one way of thinking. Yep. So I yell free to guys to freedom any type of way, physically, spiritually, mentally. And I just want to tell you, you can't be great without a great story. You don't know no one great with a lame ass story. You could look at any walk of life. You could look at Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan, he didn't even make his high school basketball team. He the greatest player of all time. And you got one of the greatest stories I ever heard in my life. So you're going to be one of the greatest people ever. You walk on this earth. So you can look at any way of life. You can't be great without a great story. And you got one of the greatest stories.
Thank you.
So I just want to shout out again, GoFundMe. Spot Fund Me. Jackie Montanez. She got a good cause. What's your cause?
Future for Tomorrow's Youth. My goal is to open up a building to do a dog grooming, dog training for the youth. I would prefer the youth to come to me and learn how to do basic training and grooming than go on the streets and killing other people and selling drugs and robbing people. So that's my goal. So I have a Spot Fund Me. You can go on spotfundme.com. That's SPOTFUND.com. Punch in my name, Jacqueline Martinez, or you can punch in Future for Tomorrow's Youth and I'll pop up. donate anything. Anything is grateful.
Yeah.
I look at it like this: we have all these people.
Anything's a blessing.
Anything's a blessing. It's for the kids. It's not for me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But I look at it like this: people go out and smoke weed every day. People want to buy drinks. Donate $2 to the kids.
And like I say, the reason why I'm doing that, I'd rather you win in any type of way than to do your life in prison or to be stretching that street. Has anyone seen a body stretching the street? That should stick with you
for the rest of your life, bro.
So I just I'm always yelling, free the guys, free the guys, free the guys. You see it on my backgrounds, free the guys, free the guys, free the guys. Free Tito, folks got 6 life sentences. Free Black, I left Black, I told you about Black. Folks got a little bit of time left. Free Burns, free LA, free Big Jew. You got anyone?
Definitely. Free the ladies in Dwight, Angel Lee, Ebony Burnside. You know, I got to give them Smiley. I have to give out my shots to my girls. Free the girls. You know, let's represent
free the girls, free the real.
Free the girls, free the real. You know, we still have a lot of girls down there in penitentiary. Patricia Johnson. You know what I'm saying? We got a lot of people. Millie. You know, I still have a lot of girls. TG, my cousin Marcy, free Marcy. So definitely know that I haven't given up on you guys, and I ain't forgot.
And don't give up on yourselves.
Don't, because if it happened for me, it'll happen for you.
Like I said on my first episode, some people get that time and they accept that. Nah, that's on you to get yourself out.
Yep.
You can pray to God, but you got to put that work in.
Yep. Definitely.
Free the guys, free the girls, free the real, free Local D, the legend.
In the house. That was nice. I liked that.
Yeah.
I like this.